Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Another beautiful morning out here. Gonna talk about a little bit of an update, sit rep, a little bit of what's going on, and you. But first, had a good few days with my pa and stepmom. They got to finally come out here and see what we've been doing, and they liked it. They thought it was cool. Not for them, but cool. And everybody seems to be doing well, so that's good. Okay, in the news, Iran. I've been saying for a long time we're going to go to war with Iran. I've been saying for a longer time, I don't know why Israel didn't schwack Iran a decade ago. And then I came to the conclusion about 5 years ago, I don't think they're capable on their own of doing that, or I think they would have. Iran don't like us. They support people who want to hurt us throughout the world, work against our national interests. They control oil. It probably comes down more to oil than that they control little terrorist type groups around the world. Everything seems to come down to oil. No blood for oil. I don't know. Oil is the stuff of life, right? Modern life, kind of need it. It's probably worth fighting for. I got chiggers, sorry. Um, but I've been saying for a while we're going to be going to war with Iran. And you've been reading the news, right? We moved the aircraft carrier, battle task force, carrier group, whatever, a whole bunch of ships and an aircraft carrier into that part of the world. We moved a bunch of B-52s over there. The reason stated was that Iran, we had good intelligence, probably got from the Israelis, right? Good intelligence that Iran was going to use their proxy forces or their Quds or somebody to attack U.S. interests in the region. So we sent that stuff over there to say, go ahead and do it. Watch what happens. Give us a reason. The Europeans, being the wusses that they are pulling their forces out of Iraq right now. They had people over there training Iraqi military, which is also a hopeless endeavor. They're never going to be like us, inshallah. That's why, that whole attitude of inshallah. Another video for another time. But they're pulling their people out because it's too dangerous. You're soldiers. And then the tankers had holes blown in them at the water line. But from what I've been able to read, because see, the news reports have been sketchy on that. Like almost nothing, just they were sabotaged, but we're not going to say how. Why not? They know how they sabotaged your ship. You know how they sabotaged your ship. Meaning what means? Did they cut an electrical cable? Did they blow a hole at the water line? Did they set it on fire? All the interested parties know. Why not tell the world? Things that make you go, Kevin Musak said, you got to have a healthy skepticism, but not go crazy overboard on conspiracy theories, and I agree 100% on that. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my dad about that. There's some people out there that just see conspiracy theories and everything. But consider, if you will, the USS Maine. Do some research on that. What was that? The kickoff to the Spanish-American War. Teddy Roosevelt was the Undersecretary of the Navy for a dysfunctional alcoholic Secretary of the Navy, so he was de facto Secretary of the Navy. Issued orders to one of our admirals. Was it Dewey? I don't remember. Perry? I don't remember. One of our admirals, and he said, if you hear of hostilities between the U.S. and Spain, you are to sail into Havana Harbor and sink the Spanish fleet. And so, lo, the Liberty blows up. Somebody declares we're in a state of hostility with Spain. It blew up in Cuba. The Spanish fleet, the most of it, is in Manila Harbor in the Philippines, half a world away. I think they had mostly wooden ships and we had mostly steel ships at the time. And we just go sailing in the harbor and here's the sailors going, huh, look, the Americans are here. And then we blew them out of the water. All because of the Maine. And people have done research on the Maine. Not conspiracy theorists, like archaeologists. And they're like, yeah, there was definitely an explosion and the way it was done, ooh, it could have been sabotage. Gulf of Tonkin, clearly made up for the purpose, what is that, casus belli, a cause for war, belligerence. We did that, we made that whole thing up just to go to war with Vietnam on a bigger scale. Putin bombed a couple apartment buildings that, the KGB families all happened to be not in at the time, blamed it on the Chechens, gave him a reason to go there. 9/11, there's a lot of anomalies with that then just started our current world affairs. Building 7, pull it, So all of those things leads me, and the way that it's being handled with these tankers in UAE that were sabotaged, it leads me to be very skeptical about what's going on there. I'm not convinced at all that it was Iranians or Iranian-backed forces that put the holes in those tankers. The Iranians are saying we did it with drones. Now, why would they say we did it with drones? Because they know we did it with drones? I mean, I would think if I was at whatever level of the government military US that said, hey, we're gonna make this thing look like the Iranians did it, I think I would use a super secret unit and have some Iranian type speedboats and come speeding into the harbor and shoot torpedoes at it and go speeding out of the harbor. Sink the boats, get back on my submarine or helicopter and go home and put on my civilian clothes. I think that's what I would do. I wouldn't just have holes appear overnight and nobody knows how they got there. How do you not know how a big old hole got in? They weren't drilled, they were blown. I saw a picture of one. How did nobody hear that? A boom on the water goes a long way, trust me. Anyway, you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who pushed who first. There's a fight coming. And has that covered Iran, basically? Israel, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think so. Is it Ramadan right now? I think it is. So, I've been reading and seeing videos and people posting on the net. Things are heating up in the Middle East. Things are heating up vis-a-vis Iran. Better top off your fuel tank. Why? You want to top off your car because things are heating up in the Middle East? See, that's one of those things that everybody thinks is wisdom and is smart, and I'm a good prepper because the Middle East is kind of scary right now, so I'm going to go top off my car. What is that going to get you? If the Middle East goes pop and the oil supplies are disrupted and the price of oil goes to $10 a gallon, which I think it probably is in Europe already, but for those of you who aren't in the States, gas here in the States is about $2.50 a gallon, a US gallon, $2.50. America. But let's say gas just goes up outrageously high. Oh, thank God I topped off my tank last night. How long does a tank of gas last you? I mean, how often do you fill your tank in your vehicle? I bet you most people do it at least weekly, if not a couple times a week, depending on what you do. So you bought yourself 7 days, 5 days of cheap gas. This thing ain't gonna be over in 10 days once it goes up. It's gonna go for months. The gas prices. Come on. Go buy rice and beans instead of topping off your tank with gas. It's a good idea to keep your tanks as an SOP, standard operating procedure, topped off. Meaning, you should have in your mind, I never let my tank get below this, And if it does, I feel itchy and I go fill it the next available time. For me, I get itchy below half a tank. And usually if it's 3/4 of a tank, I like to fill it again. So I fill it a fair bit, you know. And I do it when it's convenient. I'm driving by a gas station on my side of the road. Oh, there's my thing. I pull in. I don't have a special friendly gas thing. Don't care. Put gas in it. So that's me. But if I heard right now that Iran just went to war with the U.S., I wouldn't go top off my tank. That's me today. On 9/11, I was not at work. I think I'd taken the day off or something. And I must have, because as I recall, it was a Wednesday, wasn't it? Tuesday or a Wednesday on 9/11? It was during the week, because I was at home asleep, sleeping in, and a friend of mine who's a long-haul trucker called me from out west. I was in Kansas. And I said, oh, this is back when we had landlines. And he said, "Do you know who this is?" I said, "I do." He goes, "Go turn on your TV." And he hung up the phone. I guess he had to call other people. And so I'm like, I go stumbling out living room. We had a TV then. I turn on the TV, and the first tower had been hit. I'm like, whoa, honey, get up. Come see this. Come, wow. And of course, I, like probably everybody else, thought, what a horrible accident. Somebody flew a plane into the big building. And so I was sitting there watching it live when the second plane hit. When that second plane hit, you knew it was an attack. And so we put our, you know, go-go plan into operation, and we got some security devices out and ensured they were ready. Mama filled up the bathtubs with water because, see, we didn't know at that point. Retrospect, hindsight's 2020. We didn't know what was going on. I mean, this could be the boom, 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 and then nukes start going off. So we filled the bathtubs with water, and then I got in our truck, and I drove to my mechanic shop who had my Isuzu Trooper, which is a great vehicle. At least that one was. It was a 90 or an 89 Isuzu Trooper. That was awesome. Anyway, it was in the shop for repairs, and I approached his shop. He was open, and I said, "Hey, is my Isuzu still running?" Because I didn't know if he'd pulled stuff off or something. He goes, "Yeah, it's right there. I haven't gotten to it yet." I said, "I'm going to go fill it up with gas and bring it back." He said, "Good idea." See, I was like all these other people saying, chaos, go fill it up with gas. But then again, I thought this could be the beginning of total chaos. So I went and I filled it up, and I had taken in the truck when I went out there extra empty gas cans that I had, because I typically always have a couple empty gas cans. I don't fill up the 5-gallon can as soon as it gets empty because I have a few of them. And I'd taken them, I filled them up, I brought them back, transferred them to my truck. And then just a little story. I'm going somewhere with this for you. A little story. I came in, now I've got my gas in my truck, in my Isuzu, and in the cans, and the guy's behind the counter, and he was a firearms instructor too. He's a cool guy. I liked him a lot. And I said, "So what would you do if terrorists," because I've been listening to the radio and people are starting to think terrorism. "If terrorists come in here right now," and he just went, and he had a 45 in his hand. It was like in a holster under the counter. All right, very good. Then I went and I bought 2 cases of motor oil, because I'm thinking terrorists, wars coming to the Middle East, oil's gonna go up. Now, motor oil, I think, is something you could buy because you're not using a lot of motor oil every day. So, yeah, if you've got 2 or 4 cases ahead on motor oil, it's not going to go bad. That would save you, you know, a good chunk of money down the road. So, I get it. I was like everybody else. But in the scheme of things, war in the Middle East, topping off your tanks, I did it then. Anymore, I'm like, whatever. I'm going to be paying high prices for gas for the next 6-8 months anyway. 1 tank is spread out over that time and going to make any difference. That was my thought. Which brings me to the thing what I'm going to title this video is Lifestyle, Not Reaction. Remember when I told you that you shouldn't rush out and buy ammo or guns when something happens? You know, some other, God forbid, school shooting, and then talk of banning guns, so then everybody goes and buys guns and ammo. Lifestyle. You should have now, or have on a buying plan, you know, a list. We're going to buy this, and then when we're going to save some more money, we're going to buy this, and this is the order we're going to buy things in. You should have that stuff now. Not wait to react to some thing that you can't control at all to then drive what you do, to drive your behavior. Make preparedness a lifestyle, not a reaction. And what this allows you to do, because I haven't hit this meme for a while, which is kind of a big one with me, is you need to think, not emote, right? You need to think things through, have plans for your plans and backup plans for those plans. You got to think things through now while you're sitting on your porch in your rocking chair on a beautiful morning, putting off getting to work again, drinking your coffee. Think your plans, make your plans now, and then start working them. Pow, 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 order. Instead of, oh no, did you hear? We got to go do this. You're never going to make as good decisions in those situations. Which is why, and then I'll probably finish on this, lifestyle, not reaction. That's related to doing drills. We call them combat drills in the military, but you should have drills. And drills are things that, okay, let's say you want to design a drill for your family to bug out on 15 minutes or less notice. It's not like something's building and you have all night to load the car and close down accounts and dun, 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 dun. No, man. For whatever reason, you got to evac in 15 minutes. Now, I could come up with 1,000 scenarios where that would be a possible thing. If you can't, go back to sleep. So you got 15 minutes to get out of here, and you may never come back, and the world may turn to absolute chaos while you're gone. I don't like those options. That's right. That's why we do drills for them. I don't like the option of being caught in a near ambush either, but we got drills for them. All right, so what you do is you think, all right, well, maybe I would just grab my laptop bag and go. Course of action 1. I got everything on there. I can re-up to the net, dun, 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 dun. I have my EDC. I'm good to go, man. Maybe you think about it, well, I do have 15 minutes. I'm going to throw the bobs in there. That's 5 minutes. Oh, but Marty's bob's not really complete. It's all busted out for Viking Training Task 3 laying in the den all over the floor. I should probably put that together. Whatever. Maybe then you think, oh, I'm going to pack, as long as I got 15 minutes, I'm going to throw the bobs in there. I'm going to throw the extra food in there. I guess I'm going to throw the 40-pound bag of dog food, and we're taking our dog with us too. Oh, I better take a leash. Maybe I'll take a cable tie out. See? You're starting to think. And so then once you get it down to you actually have a good plan, then practice that. Okay, look at your watch and say, go! We're in evac mode! And everybody grabs what they grab, and you come out and you load the car, and that's when you figured out, oh crap, all this stuff won't fit if we put it in this way. But if we put it in this way, not only does it fit, we have some room for something right here. What are we putting there? So you work it, you work it, you work it until you've refined your picked plan and it works good. Like, this is where we're packing, we're putting things in this order. These things go here, these things go here. Turn on the car, back it up, let's go. Drill over. All I gotta do is put it in reverse. Well, once you have that down, now you should practice that. Initially, you should practice it frequently so that everybody, it just becomes, yep, this is what we do. I know I grab this and put it here, and then I run over here, grab this, put it here, and then I stand by, take and roll of everybody so we can get out of here. Do it enough so that it becomes a little bit boring, and then just schedule periodically announced and unannounced drills. And when I say periodically, it could be every 2 or 3 months, once you've got it down as a group, as a family. That becomes your 15-minute bug out drill. Now you have a drill. So when something happens. When the forest fire comes raging up the canyon, you're like, crap, they said it was going to rain and the wind was going to blow the other way. We got to get out of here. You're not like, oh my God, do I take this? Do I take this? Where's Bobby? Where's the cat? You already know, man. We're going into our bug out drill. That's because you made it a lifestyle, not a reaction. You thought about it, practiced it, and did it ahead of time. Consider your reaction to various things. Ask yourself, what if? Come up with plans for those things. Come up with, oh yeah, I guess I better get some more sewing needles and some thread. Put it on your list and buy it the next time you go to Walmart so you don't have to panic about it, or wherever you shop. Walmart's about to get more expensive. And I guess I'll end with this because I haven't talked to y'all for so long. We're getting a little bit long though. Tariffs. I'm for tariffs, by the way. I don't know if I said that earlier. I definitely said it to my dad the other day. I'm all for tariffs. I am not a free trader. We got to protect America. I could go into that later. The world, the globalists are into free trade. Nationalists? No. Well, tariff just hurts the consumer. In the short term, but not in the long term, because if you don't know, and I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, the way tariffs and duties and stuff like that work is right now Walmart, which is what got me on this thread, is full of a bunch of inexpensive and many times cheap stuff from China. A shirt made in China that's being sold for $5.99 at Walmart. Okay, you can't buy a t-shirt, print it, ship it, and sell it if you're paying Americans to do that for that amount of money. You just can't do it. We have laws. You got to pay those guys at least $7 an hour, and if that's all you're paying them, you have crappy employees for the most part, right? So we can't compete with China making t-shirts because they've got slave or near slave labor cranking these things out. And so do we want our t-shirt industry to die? Our button-up shirt industry's gone. We used to make like probably some of the, not the best, Europe probably made the best, but we made some of the best dress shirts in the world. I don't think we have a shirt factory in America anymore making button-up shirts because they do it so much cheaper over there. We can't compete. So when that happens, the shirt factories close. That was a job for life for some people. It's not the kind of job I'd want to do, but hey, it pays the bills. It lets you put a car in the garage, lets you have a little rambler house in the suburbs and take a vacation once a year. Got health care. Those jobs went away. So now you can go work at McDonald's until the robots replace you. Right? That's what tariffs do. Tariffs say, okay, these Chinese shirts that are coming into Walmart, and Walmart's only paying $3 a piece for them, and they're doubling the price, and that's how they're pricing them. We're going to put a $20 tariff on those t-shirts. It means Walmart or China, I'm not quite sure how that works, but somebody in that stream pays $20 to bring those shirts, probably China, into the U.S. per shirt. Well, now they're not selling them to China and Walmart for $3 anymore. They're selling them for $23. Walmart now selling for $43. And all of a sudden, a $20 American-made shirt, Ranger Up, Fox, it's looking pretty good, right? So yeah, now you can't get cheap shirts. American consumers hurt, but you know what? The shirt factories are coming back. And now there's going to be more jobs, real jobs, and people are going to be able to get a real job and then buy what they want. So it's good. For me personally, what I read, and there's a lot of, it's just like this thing with Iran. Who said what? What's really going on? Are we going to send 120,000 troops or more? Fog. But there's a lot of talk about what China is doing and is going to do in response to our tariffs. And is it going to go tit for tat for tit for tat? Oh my God, it's horrible for the economy. And that's all you'll hear on the news is how this is horrible. It's good. And for me personally, China's talking about considering, some academic there suggested, it's in the fog, right? Not buying any more American chicken. Evidently, China buys a whole bunch of chicken from America. We're not going to buy any more of your chicken. Okay, who's that hurt? The chicken producers, the people. Hey, dog's shaking. It's like an earthquake. He's like doing this. The people who sell chickens, Tyson, right? Who's the other one? I should know this. I live here. Simmons. Okay, they're going to be hurt. All of a sudden, they're going to be stuck with all these extra chickens that they can't sell. And, you know, chickens have a definite lifespan of far as when they're ready for market and we sell them. It's a factory, right? It's a chicken factory, but it's with live critters, so they're coming through. And so all of a sudden, they've got a glut of, is it a glut? Is a glut a lot? I think so. Yeah, glutton. A lot. They have a lot of chickens sitting around. Price going down. You think chicken's cheap now? Wait till China quits buying it. Chicken's going to be super cheap. Yeah, stir-fried chicken, baby. That helps the American consumer. See how that tariff helped the American consumer? In an indirect way, we put a tariff, they get mad and say we're not buying any more chicken, and all of a sudden chicken's cheaper. Now it does hurt Tyson's and Simmons, who have Congress critters and judges and everybody else in their pocket, right? Because they want to make more money. But as far as I'm concerned, that's good. Here's another way why it's even better for me. Right up yonder, they're building a whole bunch of chicken houses. Remember those? Fairly close. I can't hear them working today, but some days I can actually hear them if the weather's right, working. My fantasy, not real, not what I think is going to happen, but I've talked to the chauffeurians about it. It's like, you know what? This world could go into chaos right at the point that all those chicken houses are done, but they haven't put any chickens in them yet. Absolute chaos. W-R-O-L, Teowaki. The closest chicken house to me just became my longhouse. Giving one to the Millennial Man. Giving one to Fletch. Ozark Tactical. I think that's his channel. We've allocated who's getting them. No one else is. They're owned by the company right now. They're not going to be out here. They still own them. Blah, blah. You're stealing. No, I'm not. They're not. They're unoccupied. We're going to occupy them. New rules. That'd be awesome. Now, that's not going to happen. But if China quits buying chicken, and it's looking like, ooh, and all of a sudden Tyson and Simmons is stuck with all this chicken that they don't know what to do with, they're going to stop work up here. They're not going to throw good money after bad. It's just like in the oil industry back in, was it 2015? 14, somewhere around there, oil got really cheap. Good for the consumer, right? Just like with this chicken, it'll get really cheap. Good for us. Not good for the oil producers. It costs, you know, if oil's not at so much a barrel, selling for so much a barrel, it's not worth it to drill. It's just too expensive. So they folded up all their rigs, brought them into the, you know, service bays. They folded up a lot of the rigs in the Gulf and brought them into dock because out there they're just getting weather beaten and it's not worth making oil. And so for the oil workers, it was bad. But for everybody else, cheap gas, baby. So, you know, these tariffs, hey, let them go, man. And I think they'll get worse. My dad disagrees. He's been on this earth longer. He's seen more. He goes, nah, they're going to work it out. They're all just talking right now. They're all establishing their extreme positions so they can come back. Maybe. But I'll tell you what, not hurting my feelings putting tariffs on China. Not hurting my feelings making everything in Walmart 25% more expensive. Good. I want American business to come back. Yeah, initially things will be more expensive. Okay, I'm willing to pay that. Plus, I'm also, unlike many of y'all, I'm in a stage of my life where I don't really need to consume that much. I don't need to buy stuff. Because I've made preparedness a lifestyle, not a reaction, and I already have my stuff. All right, that's a good ending. Y'all take care. I'm glad to be back. I'll see you out there.